Now, I will only be sharing with you today few important updates. I'd like to highlight that we have a global call coming again on the 30th of this month, during which we will have a lot more updates and announcements coming out as well. So please mark that in your calendars. It will be a Monday, I believe 8 p.m. CET. So 8 p.m. CET, Monday, the 30th of this month. Now, a question that I have been asked over the last few days several times has been about the situation in the Middle East, and how is this, what I believe we can already now call oil crisis, is impacting Corsair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, with another major global crisis, we have proven that our business is actually benefiting even during these crisis situations. We can look back the last 6 years and we can see how our business model was proven to be stronger than any of the global crises, including the COVID situation, including the situations in Ukraine, and now again, stronger and benefiting from this situation in the Middle East. I don't necessarily want to say that it's always a good thing that when something bad happens, it's benefit for us, but it does prove that our business model is so powerful and so strong and resilient that none of these international events, which can impact in very, very negative ways a lot of different industries, they actually benefit our business. I just looked earlier today, we can now see that the oil is trading again over $100 per barrel. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the oil business. So interesting times. Obviously, we hope that the situation doesn't escalate any further in any manner. Of course, nobody wants another war, but obviously, with any kind of disruption in international oil flows, these can actually benefit our business greatly. So if anybody asks you what's happening with Corsair, how is this going to impact? Well, it's the exact same situation that we've seen with the financial crisis, with all these different international situations. Our business actually benefits in these kind of situations. Now, quick updates from Finland. I'm extremely happy to tell you that our test runs at the Finnish Corsair facility has now been coming to its end. Here you can see some of the plastic raw material that we've been using over the last couple of weeks and months when we've been doing our final test runs there at the facility. And these bales of plastic, which have been delivered to us, to our facility, have now been converted into a high quality, very good quality pyrolysis oil, which is now meeting all of the requirements and quality requirements of the petrochemical industry. Therefore, we are now beginning to move from the installation and testing phase of these reactors that have now been installed into an actual full-time production phase. So very, very interesting things happening in Finland, and I'm looking forward to be sharing with you more updates on this one on our social media channels and also in the upcoming global call. Now, I have to highlight that, again, to get to where we are and to get to these results is not always without challenges or without hard work. And great example of that one is that in our facility, many of you have been there. Finland is very much in the Arctic, as you probably are aware. We are the home of the Santa Claus and the Lapland and the Arctic Circle. So obviously we get to enjoy very, very strong and very cold winters. Now, here's an example of what our production team, led by Mr. Timo Liimatainen, is dealing with on a daily basis. So inside the factory, it is actually so cold at the moment that when we test our water sprinkler systems and we let water out from the hoses, we at the same time are forming these ice sculptures. So we've learned a new skill. Timo can now be said to be a professional ice sculptor. He's doing these beautiful artworks, but this is what we are dealing with. So whenever we talk to new partners from around the world about building our factories, I always like to highlight for them that we are very familiar and very comfortable of dealing with both tropical weathers here in Thailand, as well as Arctic weathers up in Finland. So being able to deal in both of those two scenarios gives us the confidence to deal with anything else between that. So rest of the world will kind of be somewhere in between that. Now, moving to Thailand, I'm also very happy to tell you that the installation of the 3 machines at the Bangkok 1 facility has now been completed, and we will begin the test runs with these 3 new machines. They still haven't been painted. That's why they look a little beat up, but they will be painted. They will get a nice a layer of paint this week. And basically then towards the end of this coming week, we will now begin the test runs. But the installation has been completed, and we're very excited now to start running these units and obviously, again, increase our flow and our volume of production here in Thailand. Talking about production, talking about flow of product, I'm extremely happy to share with you guys today information about a new partnership that we have formed already some time ago, but we haven't made the announcement yet public. I am today releasing information publicly about this partnership for the first time. It will be a partial announcement because we are still waiting for the permission to release the name of this company. But what I can tell you guys today, that we have formed a partnership now for the supplying of pyrolysis oil made from plastic waste with a giant oil, gas, and petrochemical company. And to put a reference on this, this company is larger than Shell. So with a little bit of research, you might be able to find out there's not that many of them, but it is definitely in place. The contract has now been signed. And on top of that, the first oil deliveries are now beginning to this company in July this year. And as soon as we now move forward with the deliveries of the product, we are then expecting to be also able to do a similar type of announcement that we did with Shell in the past, where we will have a public press release done by both companies. But I wanted to bring this information for you now when we can start to talk about it. And as we are moving towards these oil shipments this summer, this will be again a major step forward. It is a multi-year agreement in the value of tens and tens of millions of dollars in the next coming years in sales of Corsair pyrolysis oil. Now, as I said earlier, global call on the 30th of March. Please tune in. We will have a lot of updates. As you know, we normally have 2, maybe 3 global calls a year. This year, we've already had 2. We'll have a third one. And the reason for that is that there's so much things happening right now. We just now, 15 days ago, launched our new back office, which is now been operating great. We are still improving it. We're coming out now with new payment systems improvements to the compensation plan, and so many things are happening in different areas of our business. So please tune in again on the global call on the 30th of March. That's all from me today. I want to thank you once again all for joining us here today, and thank you very much for Elliot for organizing the call and all the other speakers tonight as well. Thank you so much, guys, and speak to you soon.